Hey everybody, this is Rick and Bailey from Scottsdale Urban Farms. We're located in Scottsdale, Arizona, 85254. And the country has had some real weather coming through. This is our mulberry tree. We just planted it. It's a year old. Yeah, it's about a year old. It should or coming up on a year. My videos in my my timeline. This is about the time that we planted this. My Uncle Joe and I we worked this soil and dug some holes while he was here visiting. But the purpose of this video is cold. We lost a lot of stuff. As you can see, the leaves on this mulberry tree here are really not doing really well, which means I can then come in and trim this thing up. But if you look right there, whoop, right at the base of that leaf, there's a bud. Here's a better one. A new bud that will come out. So we're going to be okay. These normally drop their leaves, as you can see the one way over there, behind the two big tall palms, where the yellow is between the two palms. That's a male mulberry tree, and that one takes about 3 months to drop its leaves. It goes in stages. It will end dropping its leaves mid-February. Our plum tree, I can tell just from the leaves that from yesterday, before we had this cold, that there's some wilting happening here, which is anticipated. It's going to drop its leaves this time of the year anyway. I'm sorry, this isn't a plum tree. This is our peach tree, one of two peach trees. And the other one's over here. But the frost really will come through and do some damage to certain crops. We planted a lot of seedlings. The previous video I showed that I planted a bunch of seedlings, but this bed here, this entire bed is filled with potatoes. This first section here is with potatoes, and then there's just a couple of leeks that I planted. Yeah, look what the frost did. The cold, it just came through, and it's wreaking some havoc. Absolutely wreaking some havoc. This is a plum tree. This one really hasn't been thriving from the get-go. I'm not sure if it's just the variety. But when I compare it, it's a different type of tree, I get it. But when I compare it to the apple trees, we saw explosive growth this year. But here's some of the seedlings that we planted. They're still green, they're still holding on. But we've had a lot of rain, and we've had some cold. The whole country is experiencing cold right now. Snow and ice and way below zero temperatures, 16 below. Big Sandy Lake in northern Minnesota, in McGregor, Minnesota, there's a lake, Big Sandy Lake. They got 18 inches of snow. So there's it's the whole country, the Northwest, the Southwest, the North, all the way to the East Coast. So again, I'm new at this. You can only research so much. There's a lot of things that, as a new urban farmer or a new farmer, urban farmer, in-city homesteader, there's just so much to learn. And that's the awesome thing. If you're learning based and you like experiential learning, learning as you go and learning as you do things, and understanding that, man, you're going to have failure. You're going to have failures. There's just no doubt about it. And that's one of the things that we have to understand and really realize is that you have to be okay with failing. And if you're not, if you take it personal and you just let it consume you, you might struggle. However, that's an opportunity to learn and for self-reflection, and it's just really fun. This urban farming and experiential learning. In the scholarly world, it's called this. What I'm doing is project-based learning, PBL, and it's fun. It's amazing. You literally are learning something every day and failing every day. And one of the ways that I've set myself up for success and have found a way to really get engaged in this, and that's through the science of complexity, of complex adaptive systems. And it's a tongueful, but it's really cool. Complex adaptive systems simply mean that everything is connected or interconnected with everything. And a perfect example is soil in a forest. And Bailey's over there chasing something. The horses are behind us running around. But all of that is here, and I'm understanding this, and I'm learning about complexity, science of complexity. And that's the science of all sciences. So it's pretty in depth and a little overwhelming for me. But I'm learning a lot, and I'm having a lot of fun. So anyway, back to the tour. I'm learning what temperatures do to certain plants, how some temperatures affect other plants, and for an example. You okay? Great example. Let's go follow me for a second. Hey, Bailey. Come on, we're going to phase 1. Good girl, Bailey. Yes, Bailey. Okay, sorry, folks. I gotta unlock this door. Okay. Good girl, Bailey. So now, phase 1, we got a lot of stuff going on here. You would think that, and okay, so you can see here, some of this lettuce, like look at that. That one is just thriving, and it got cold. And then this one over here, it'll come back. It'll pull its way up if it gets warmer today, and it's supposed to get in the 60s. So these I think will pop back. Bailey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you zooming? Yes, Bailey. Bailey, good girl. Oh, Bailey's got the zoomies. Yeah, watch out, Bailey. And then she flies through her doggy door like at 16 miles an hour. Yeah. Look at the frost on the leaves. But this forces the hand on these loofah cucumbers. This year I'm going to do something different with the loofah cucumbers. And what I want to do this year is I'm going to create intentionally a place that, like, the base would say start here, and then it will run up, and we're going to create climbers so that we can create an underground thing like we had here. It was like a cave. And when our grandkids come out next year, I want to create an area where there's a place for them to kind of sit like a fort. I think that they would get a real kick out of that. And if you come down here, what I'm going to do is we're going to create an entrance, if you will, that will be centered with this orange tree. And this is all after the fact. So I didn't plant an orange tree in front of the door. That would be really silly. But here's what I have is I want to create an area in this area here for this orange tree to thrive. And this particular tree is going to be an area that will have ground cover exclusively for it. And we're going to companion plant, my cardboard here, we're going to companion plant different crops, flowers, vegetables, peas, beans, because peas and beans leave a certain chemical behind, and I have to research and find out what that is, and we have to find out more specifically why does the tree like it, and so we can continue to let this thing thrive. But you can see here, this got cold. This got cold last night. This got cold. Yeah, look at the leaf curl. Look at the leaf curl. Like I said, I'm brand new at this. I don't know if this will also serve as an area that I can put a quilt or a tarp over the top of this to help keep the cold air in, or what we can do for blankets without breaking branches. So you guys are experiencing this with me first time as I go through and look at what the cold did. Here's a tomato plant, the last of the green. That's wiped out. My tomato plant in the center, that's wiped out. That won't come back. I'll just end up cutting the base and leaving the roots there. But look at this. This little lettuce, it thrives. Your brassicas. Oh, here's some onions that are coming up. There's some more onions. They held out okay. There's another one right there, couple. Yeah. That's too bad. That's too bad. Yep. And you wonder, why is this one kicking ass, and you come over here and his bigger brother or sister's just laying on the ground like you got a big old throat punch? This is the kind of stuff you get to see and you get to learn and you get to observe. And here's another one. Hardly phased at all. And yet right next to it, they got that one. And that one. And that one. And this one's okay. And then you look at this one. Nasturtium. Those are going to be beautiful. We'll plant more. That's this. See, these are the things that you run into. Because when my wife and I designed this, we knew we wanted to create, and we are creating an area right here specifically. Oh, look at that sun! This area here specifically for butterflies. And to create a really, really cool area that butterflies would be able to thrive in. So this used to be a massive pine tree. It was such a shame. When we bought the place in 2013, it was ginormous. And we had to cut it down because it became a real liability. And we got it to this point here. We got it to that point. And I told the arborist, I said, stop right there. Because he was going to take, the next ones that would come off would be this one, and then drop that. And I said, no, leave that right there. He goes, what are you going to do with it? And I says, it looks like a giant slingshot. It would be cool at some point to create, get these weather type bands and have this thing hanging down, and then the pocket where you would put a rock, create a really cool thing for like hummingbirds or a bird nest, an owl box, a bat box for bats, whatever. And then I started thinking, I says, how cool would that be if we made that the foundation for a tree fort, and to have inside, as you're walking around the tree fort, those big fingers, the slingshot. Who knows? When I figure it out, it'll come to me one day, and fairly soon, I'm pretty sure. And then create a deck that would create micro environments, microclimates, and then maybe we could tie the deck to the pool shed, and then make the roof of the pool shed part of the deck, and then you could have a diving platform going to the deep end of the pool. That'd be cool. Squirrel, not literally my head. So that's the frost, and I haven't posted anything for a couple weeks. We had a family emergency for one of our loved ones, and we had to take care of business. Had to spend some time with some family so that they were cared for. My mom got ill, and our family rallied up, and we all stepped up and made Mom safe. Got her out of the hospital, got her back home, and we're each rotating and spending some time with her to make sure she gets back to a point where she's thriving again with her strength. So, but yesterday was a really good day. Mom was up and walking and using a cane and putting on the miles, so that was good, and appetite is up, so all good stuff. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. We've got a lot of stuff that we're working on here. So since I have you, and these are really just this. I started telling you about the project, and I kind of got distracted by the cold and the damage. So in this area here, what we're going to do is we're going to create an area, and again, this whole experiment, this farm, is research based, and it's urban farming in the soil. Our soil is the number one thing. So now we're in the process of creating soil, and we want to create soil in an environment where these roots will absolutely thrive. And so I've dedicated this area to our grandchildren. It's going to be a really fun research experiment place for them to experiential learn, and maybe someday curriculum could develop within this little classroom. So this is my classroom where I'm going to create curriculum for children, for people, but mainly my grandchildren. This space is all grow. So when you go down, what is it? We've got this one, that one. I'll walk down here. This one here. Going across over to that side, we're going to frame up a divider. So it looks like a door, but it really is just a gateway. So posts will go right in here. We'll get those measured out, spaced out, and we'll get that framed in. And then down here, hey, Miss Bailey. Miss Bailey. Bailey's a good girl. Yes. Yes, Bailey's a good girl. Good morning. Okay, come on, Daddy. Come hang out with me. This is we're going to clean this up. We'll remove that bottom board, and looking down, all the way down there, we're going to do the same thing right here, so that when we put our bird mesh on there, we're going to tighten the ship up with this, cage it all in, fence it in. That also creates opportunities for, like you see there, oh, I guess you can't, there's sun in your eyes, Rick. What you do is you create opportunities for climbers. And this loofah found a nice little home over here on this. And those loofah plants were planted on the other side of that fence. So we'll do that as well. And then, one of the other things that I was thinking, Mom was talking about, putting arches of kettle panel down this. What do you guys think of that? If we were to put arches all the way down to the end and frame this in, that way on this side, going down, we could, and we do, but we could repurpose and rotate crops down this side. And that would allow for climbers to go up and into the arch. And then as you go through here, this would all be enclosed. It would have really cool stuff growing through the arch, over the top, and then like you see here, things would hang down, and it would be just a really cool again environment for learning in classroom. We would be able to study and research insects and what threats there are to this community, to this ecosystem of food, this community garden here, this experiment. So yeah, there's a lot to do, and I think I just really kind of stumbled on an idea. Thanks guys for walking through with me and giving me this opportunity, but I've got to go put some pen and paper to what's going on here. Like I said, I'm learning based, and experiential learning is a huge part of how I want to share what I'm learning and what I'm doing with many generations of people to come. So thanks for hanging out with me today. This is Rick Borden and Bailey Borden at Scottsdale Urban Farms. We're in Scottsdale, Arizona, 85254.